Florida historically just is a good visual example because of the peninsula and it being relatively, low elevation. If you look back 20,000 years ago at the peak of the last ice age, sea level was about 400 feet lower. 122,000 years ago at the last warm spot of the ice age cycles, sea level was about 25 feet or 7 meters higher than it is at present. So with Florida, we can see how sea level has gone up and down 100 meters plus, and that the size of Florida has doubled or halved from what it is today.
As always, those most affected by the changing climate are the ones least responsible.
And it is the people who are going to be most affected by the effects of climate change and who are going to be least able to adapt and afford to adapt that we need to not just bring into the room. They need to be significant decision makers in terms of helping map our way forwards.
Coming from a small island nation, I'm very much aware of the vulnerabilities that coastal communities, for example, face, and how the impacts are disproportionate. When we speak about ocean-based climate restoration, it is not just a nice to have for these communities, it is one of the most pressing needs because they have so many values attached to the ocean and coastal ecosystems.
Justice is a big one. When we're implementing different innovations and solutions, especially if we're going to be talking about deploying a different technology or innovation at scale, we want to make sure that the communities that this innovation is going to be deployed in are being involved at the beginning, not just when the science or technology is ready, but making sure that these communities are involved at the conception phase. A lot of these communities that are impacted the most by climate change have been protecting these critical marine ecosystems for centuries, and we want to make sure that their voices are being heard.
I had this most wonderful opportunity to be in COP28 in Dubai, in the audience with a lady speaking who was the United Nations ambassador to the islands of Palau. They're a group of atolls in the South Pacific. An incredibly eloquent speech where she said, for my people, 1 or 2 meters of sea level rise is not a case of losing a bit of beach. It is a case of losing our country. And for people like this, they need to have a very significant seat at the table in terms of determining our, first of all, research pathway in terms of the technologies that we might be developing. And then secondly, actually also looking at then potential deployment.